What's up, guys, and welcome to the series I'm just coming out with for the first time. I'm going to be playing the historical challenges in MotoGP 20, and I want to thank you guys for supporting me with the Bubba Speed career mode. That's the one that's been doing the best out of all my series, so I'm really happy that you guys are seemingly enjoying it and really, I know, I'm just really happy with the amount of views you guys are giving me, which is, not great in terms of the grand scheme of YouTube, but for my personal videos, I am really thankful to you guys for the support. So, the way the historical challenges work is basically they give you a track, they give you a difficulty, they give you certain conditions, and you can only use the riders you have unlocked among the class that they tell you. So in this case, we're using Valentino Rossi on the Repsol Honda, early days. I don't remember if this is 2002 or 2003, but definitely, a legendary version of Valentino Rossi, just pretty much the perfect bike. Everything was pretty much given to him to perfection, and I want you guys to know, this is actually my first time using a 4-stroke MotoGP bike in the game. The only thing I've done so far, except for Moto3, has been like 3 laps on Sachsenring with the Desmosedici with Dovizioso. So I haven't used one of these bikes in the game yet. This is my very first time playing, realistically playing anything other than Moto3. So you're going to see me struggle quite a bit, and I think that's kind of the good thing about this, is you're actually going to watch me learn how to ride more difficult bikes on the fly, because it's not like there is no practice, there is no qualifying. You just start where they put you, and you got to try to do your thing. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like in practice with when time trial with Dovizioso, I was trying traction control on 0, and I was having a nightmarish time. Wasn't even able to actually finish a lap most of the time, so it was a nightmare. So yeah, I gotta say, MotoGP, whether it's this kind of bike or the new, just insanely electronical bikes, yeah, it's much more difficult, and the learning curve is gonna be huge. And I actually really like that. I feel like it adds to the depth of the gameplay, because in the old games it would pretty much just be like whatever bike you're riding. The only thing that would really change was how important corner speed was, and essentially how fast they go. So the braking points were different, but the bikes in general, they just feel like they're not even close to being the same thing, and that's exactly what I want from a simulation game. I don't want some arcadey bullshit. I want it to be simulation, and this game is giving me exactly what I want. Like, everything about it. It has its problems here and there, but overall, it's been a great experience, and I gotta say, man, like, I'm really happy with the game. And I'll say this about this bike in particular: it's so much better than the Desmosedici that I was using. Of course, I crashed out right there, embarrassing, because I had a 3-second lead. Was actually looking really good, but like I was just saying, like the Desmosedici, I just feel like even with fork traction control, I couldn't get the fucker to actually do anything. I couldn't get the bike to handle at all. And of course, that's kind of typical of a Ducati. It's all about point and shoot, and it's notoriously difficult to ride. And this Repsol Honda was the complete opposite. I mean, it's just it's a legendary Honda. It is one of the best bikes to ever be graced on a MotoGP calendar. So it's just it's an insane bike, and of course ridden by somebody like Valentino Rossi, who his detractors, and of course like that, like, I don't necessarily believe he's the greatest of all time. We'll probably talk about that soon enough on a podcast with my dad, who is an ex-racer, so shout out to him. But he's definitely one of the best of all time. I don't think there's really any debating about that. And I mean, and you can definitely not debate how good of a racer he is. So I mean, just in general, and I don't really think that rider stats are a thing in this game. That was a thing back in the day. Like, not back in the day, I mean a few years ago. It's not like I'm talking about MotoGP 2 or something, but you get the picture. Like, it was a thing a while ago, but I don't really think that's necessarily the case anymore. But it is like I was just saying, it's an amazing bike, and you can definitely tell the difference between this and the Desmosedici. I mean, like, if you see right here, of course I bump into somebody, get a penalty there, which is just typical of me. It seems like I can hardly get it through a race without getting a monstrous penalty. Luckily, right now it's only 2/10, which isn't terrible. But I mean, if you just look at it, like, and the good thing about this is you don't have to worry about fuel consumption, which is a plus. I like having it on in career mode, but in this type of stuff, it's just kind of distracting. I mean, I went insanely wide there, making a ton of mistakes, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, you guys. Like, this is just me learning on the fly while Dovizioso crashes. That's a shame. But yeah, man, it's like, this is just me learning on the fly. There is no, I'm not gonna try to make it look like I'm better than I am. This is what you see with me is what you get. No matter what I'm playing, whatever I'm doing, it's pretty much That's just kind of how I am. You know, I don't like to hide whether I'm trash or not at a game. In this case, I'm definitely having a poor performance because the difficulty is really low. 40% is really, really easy, and I'm barely able to, right now, barely able to stay ahead of them and, you know, keep a decent gap to where I'm at least confident enough to believe I'm going to win. 2 seconds actually isn't that terrible. I thought I was a bit lower, but, you know, and this is a track, I will say, this is a track that I'm not good at. This is Thailand. I've only done it like once, I think, so once or twice I've tried this track, and I'm not a fan, but I also don't hate it. As we come into the last turn, at least I will say I'm getting better at the hairpin. That's definitely a good thing. Like, I came out of there, I would say, almost as good as I can possibly get for my standards. So we were able to win the first challenge. It was very difficult for me because, like I said, I'm horrible at the game, at least with these bikes. So it's going to take a bit of time, but it is good practice for when we eventually do end up on MotoGP in the Bubba career mode. So I don't necessarily know what I think about these challenges. I think that the currency system kind of sucks, but I also don't hate it because I just don't really like this kind of system in any game. And I will talk more about this in a review. I'm planning that. I'm trying all this stuff out for that reason, to really you know, sink my teeth into the entire game, find out what I like, what I don't like, and give you guys a solid review. But this is our first one. I'm probably going to be releasing these almost daily. So next up is going to be Mick doing, and I look forward to trying a 500. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comments if you have any tips whatsoever on how I can get better at using the bigger bikes, whether it's 500s, 4-stroke MotoGP, or the modern MotoGP bikes. I could really use your help, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching and supporting me. And thank you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next video.